every dollar in your portfolio should be able to answer this one simple question. What's its purpose? I'm Jessica Weaver, founder of the Wealth Boutique, and we're going to dive into your buckets of money. You might remember this from previous slides, previous videos, how we need to identify each account. What is its goal? What's its time frame? What is its overall purpose? Let's give it a job description. Let's give it a salary. Let's get it working for you. Now what happens is when you go into a new transition in your life, maybe you are you have a family. I have a calls with 2 new moms later today. Or what we're going to talk about today is a couple that just retired and things are changing for them, and the money that was set up for them while they were working is a lot more complex now. And how can we best optimize these assets, repurpose old assets that no longer work for them, and add some tax efficiency to them? Because remember, strategic women build tax-free wealth. Yes. So let's dive into this case study. All right. So here we go. Up here we have our non-retirement assets. That's one of our buckets. We have here retirement assets. We have pre-tax IRAs and post-tax tax-free Roth IRAs. We have long-term care protection assets, and over here we have legacy assets as well. Now you might notice that this bucket is very empty. All we have in here right now is an HSA account. They did a great job saving for their retirement. They have about $2 million in pre-tax IRAs, and then they have about $500,000 in Roth IRAs. Well, going into this meeting, we knew right away that these 2 assets, those are going to cost them about $1.2 million in taxes. We ran our report, and we realized that is not going to be very tax efficient for their retirement. So we do want to do some Roth conversions. Another thing that we knew is that they needed about $5,000 to $6,000 a month to cover their living expenses from these assets. So we said, you know what? Do you want to protect some of these assets? One thing that they do not have in place right now is any protection on these assets. So if the markets crash, the money's going with them. That's a dangerous game to play when you are pulling money out to live off of in retirement. Different while you're working than when you're retired. So we're going to put some of this money, about $800,000, into an annuity that's going to give them their own pension plan. It's going to give them about $70,000 a year for both of their lives. Both of their lives. And what we did was we just turned these assets into an income asset, and we're protecting their principal, that $800,000. Now the cool thing about this annuity is it's also going to give them an extra $70,000 if either one of them needs long-term care for up to 5 years. That's huge. So we just leverage this asset, so it's going to be here, but it's also going to go over to this long-term care piece. And the thing about this is within the annuity, we can do Roth conversions as we see fit. But what we're going to do with the rest of the $1.2 million that's left in the pre-tax is we're going to slowly convert them over to Roths. So we're going to get both of these moved over into Roth buckets. So we have tax-free money for their lives, for their kids' lives as well. Okay. And we're not stopping there. We're going to keep going for it too. Because we've already added protection to that $800,000, we're able to take more risk and really let these assets grow for them down the road when inflation's hitting them hard, or for an inheritance too. Another thing that we did is they have these old whole life insurance policies. They're not a big death benefit, $50,000, $100,000, but they have some good cash value in them. There's not a risk if one of them passes away. We know they have enough assets to live. The bigger risk, and we ran our water lily reports, these are long-term care reports, we saw that for the husband, he has about an $800,000 potential long-term care cost. The wife, $1 million. So the bigger risk to them isn't if one of them passes away, it's if they need long-term care for an extended period of time, and that $1.8 million is going to erode their nest egg very quickly, especially since so much of it is in pre-tax money. So what we're doing, we're just repositioning this one asset. We're going to move it over here into this bucket, and that's going to give him an extra $400,000 towards long-term care. There's still a death benefit, so there's still life insurance policies, but they have a long-term care component to them. So that will give him about $400,000, and hers will about another $200,000, okay? So we're starting to fill that gap up really nicely. It's not costing them anything extra out of pocket. It's literally just repositioning them, repurposing something that they got when they were younger, had a family, and they wanted that death benefit. Now they need the long-term care benefit, okay? So we added 3 different things just by repurposing assets and giving them really more than one purpose. Because when you think of these, we now have long-term care and a death benefit. This also comes to them tax-free, really tax efficient. We've repurposed some of this money into that annuity that will also give them long-term care for it. They also have an inherited IRA, and they're forced to take out money every year. So part of that money is going to go to travel, and then another part of that money is going to go into some of these policies as well to keep boosting them up if they want to. Now, what do we do with all this? What we've just created is a way for them to fully enjoy their assets, make them much more tax efficient. We know that their living expenses are more than covered from this annuity. We're going to take advantage of market growth and let these things ride for them so that they can really enjoy this money. She has a pending inheritance coming too. They want to enjoy this money and they want to travel with their families. If there's money left over, great. If not, they know that they are very tax efficiently growing their money and saving their money, save them over $1 million in taxes. We've added protection for long-term care, and now they get to give themselves bonuses periodically through their retirement. That is the power of giving every dollar in your world a purpose and doing this exercise before you invest the money. Let's make sure that the plan makes sense and that we have each bucket well stocked. We will go into even more detail next week when we talk about how do we really use the non-retirement assets in your retirement. This is key. I'll see you next week, and stay tuned for Thursday night, tomorrow night. We have a new episode of Women Behind the Millions. Can't wait to see you there. Bye, ladies.